This looks really tough, doesn't it? It's not. Just like radicals, isolate this. Make sure that this is on its own. So 4x minus 5 absolute value has to equal to something. Get it on its own. And the way you do it, subtract 9 from both sides. That equals to minus 7. Logic tells you something here, folks. Logic tells you when you absolute value something, what kind of number do you always get? You always get a positive number. How can this possibly equal to a negative 7 then? It can't. There's no way it can. And I'll prove it to you. Look, 4x minus 5. Again, critical points. You got 4x minus 5 equals to 0. Bring the 5 over. 4x equals to 5 divided by 4 divided by 4. You're looking at 1 1/4, right? 5/4, which is 1 1/4. Right? So 1 1/4, which is going to be right around here somewhere. You know you've got a y-intercept of minus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your original graph looks like it's going to come up like this somehow. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your absolute value of minus 5. There's your 5. So you're going to get an awfully thin looking graph here. It looks like this. Okay, now let's get rid of all of that stuff on the bottom. Now look what it's equal to. There's minus 7. I'm going to go by 2's. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's minus 7 right about here. Look, there's the other graph right down here. These two graphs don't even touch each other. Because they don't touch each other, this has no solution. Okay? And if you could actually figure this out algebraically, you can say, okay, I can look at the plus version of 4x minus 5 equals to minus 7. I could actually algebraically solve this. Plus 5, you got 4x equals to minus 2, divide by 4, x equals to minus a half. Algebra tells you that there's one answer. Algebra will actually tell you that there are two answers. Why? Because don't forget, you have to do the negative version of this guy right here. So if you do the negative version of 4x plus 5 now by putting a minus in front and distributing it to each one, okay, that has to equal to minus 7. Look at this. Bring the minus 5 over here, and you're going to get, check this out, you're going to get, boom, minus 4x equals to minus 12. Divide by minus 4, divide by minus 4. Algebra tells you again, x equals to 3. So it says, algebra tells you you have two actual answers, but look, if you draw these things, you know for a fact, there's no way that they will have any kind of answer. So that's why I put this little conclusion down here. Okay? The conclusion is, given the graph, what does this tell you about the range of the absolute value equation? The absolute value equation always has to be above the x-axis. If you got a line down here and it says, where's your intersect? Of course, you know and I know you can't do this, so there is in fact no solution. This is the advantage of knowing how to graph. It's really, really important to be able to graph this. Otherwise, yeah, I can trick you. I don't want to do that.